Hi, this is Jean. I'm coming back to show you about my pages that I made. So, pardon my hands, I've been inking and gessoing and all kinds of fun stuff. But what I wanted to show you, this one came out a little bit more on the green and the purple side. So what I did with these is after I was finished and pretty much okay with how they turned out, I did seal the edge with glue. So you may want to do that simply because it's going to lift up on you if you don't. Now with this particular piece that I worked on, I did add some scripting. I don't know if you can see that. And I added just some little black dots and some lines. So you can add all kinds of stuff on your mixed media piece. But see here where I told you it's really tough to get a good crease on that. So this one, I also added text. I added some stamping. This green and purple you see running is my Dilutions ink spray. So this one got a little bit darker, but the side I'm going to use is the lighter side. So this is going to be a different side. So I have two of them made, and I think what I'm going to do is put both of them together. I want to show you this third one though. This third one I had made a while ago, and I just kind of scraped the paints across, and then when I put the paint on in the various locations, for some reason when I drug it with the card, it still left little spots. So I just drew little flowers to go with that. Now, I don't think I'm going to do anything else with this page. I think I'm going to leave it alone. But I am going to work on a page with you. And this is a page, I'm recycling a page. This was a page that I was drawing some feet on, which they're cute, but I had decided to do something else. So when you have a page that you want to repurpose, what you can use is gesso. Now, I don't have any specific tool that I use to spread my gesso. I do use credit cards. If you have any old expired ones, or if you have any that you get in the mail, like those dummy ones, you can use those. Or I don't know how it is in other countries, but here in the USA, sometimes we get discount cards and that you can use at the grocery store to save some money, and other things. So I just put a light color of gesso on this because I think the underlying designs will help us create something fun. I'm not going to be able to, I may be able to black it out, but I can't promise. Now, gesso is a very good product to kind of mix with your acrylics so that you can get these interesting colors. So what I'm going to do while this is still wet is I'm going to pop on a few colors right where I have these drawings. And I only want a little tiny bit because, believe it or not, with this project, less is more. So I'm just going to put a couple pink ones on, and I think I have, this is a metallic purple, so we're going with more of a lighter palette. Okay, purple, you can come out now. Now see, a glob like that is probably going to be too much to scrape off, but we will see. We'll put a couple of those on, and I wanted a green. Here's a green. Now this is a metallic green, but I think it'll be okay. And what other color do we need? So we have 3 colors. We'll add 2 more. So I have a purple that is not metallic. So I only want a tiny bit of this because if I get too much, it's going to really smear. So I'm putting on a couple of these. And then the next one I'm going to use, this is like a fuchsia color. Whoops. I think I might be in trouble with that one. I'm going to have to find a paper towel and take some of that up. That's too much for what we're doing. Okay. So at this point, you have a couple options. You could use a credit card to actually spread out the ink. Excuse my crackly voice. Or you could use a dowel. So this is a really long dowel that I have. And I'm just going to kind of go like this. Now you can see I have a lot of paint still on my dowel, so I can go through again and just smear it a little bit more. And if we do that, we get this interesting pattern, right? So what we've used so far with this particular project is we've used gesso. First of all, we're repurposing a page that we decided we didn't want to use, right? And then additionally, we are, and to do that, we had to use some gesso. And then after that, we're adding just any cheap acrylic paint to it. And what that does is it creates a mixture of colors for a really cool background. Now, I like to use black stamping on mine. So I have this tube that I've salvaged, I don't know from what, and I like to take some stays on ink, which is the kind that doesn't you can't wipe it off. Basically, it's permanent. So we can put a few of these here. Now I'm not sure how round I can get these because they're already not coming out very dark. That one's a little bit better. So as you can see, I'm just going through and adding some circles. Some of them are kind of off the page. Whoops. That one really stuck. Sometimes they're a little bit off the page. Sometimes they're just hanging out here. And I'm going to do some right here because I had that lady's face. And another one right here. So mainly they're kind of like groupings of circles, but you can create them randomly throughout the piece however you want. I'm gonna put some right here and some right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groupings of 3 circles each. So that's looks good. Now I'm going to let me see, what did I do with my page? My little stamp I had. It's not a script stamp, it's actually a, what you call it? Like a design rubber stamp. Here it is. Okay. And I'm going to use black for this too. So these kind of remind me of tire marks. Whenever somebody revs their engine and leaves tire marks. So there's some. Let's see how many more we have here. Yeah, the more ink that you get on these, of course, it's going to be better, but I'm trying to use up this Stays On ink because I think it's seeing its latter days. I do have a thing that can refreshen them, but I haven't used it on it yet. Let me get this one. This one's archival, so it's the same, basically. It just may leave marks a little bit better because it's newer. Yeah, so you get a real nice strip right there. And so what we do too is when we talk about this and the designs that you can make, what you're doing is you're actually creating layers, and you create the layers upon layers, and that just helps you to create a cohesive, well, I don't want to use the word cohesive because with mixed media, it's not always cohesive, but it gives you a way to use this so that you can get some pretty amazing colors and designs. Now I have this script stamp, and I haven't used it with ink yet, but I'm going to try that and see what color I can get. So let me see what color I have here. We can put a little more green in it and see if we can get this green to work. Now I'm using this beauty blender that I cut off as I use it, but it should be able to pick up enough ink that we can see the script through the stencil. It's kind of, I mean, I started with this idea of using the beauty blenders. I think I saw someone else use them. I imagine you can get them pretty cheap at like Dollar Tree or something, but I just used, I just got some off of Temu so I could use them. And I think they work pretty good. It's just that I was having to change the pads on my Tim Holtz daubers all the time, because it's you need one almost for every color you're going to use, or okay, let me see if I can put this over here more. So obviously it's showing better on the white than it is on top of the other colors. Okay. So there we have some showing here, some showing here. Let me just go down here at the bottom and put a little bit where the white is. There we go. And I can see a lot in the middle. Let me just put a little bit up here where there's a white edge. Okay, very nice. I love the way that turned out and added some interest to the page. So the next thing I want for this, I think, is more pink. And let me see. I'm just going to take this, it's called Bubblegum, and I'm going to take it right across the edge, just a tiny bit. I want you to be able to see this, so hopefully you can. And I just want a tiny bit of that to kind of run. I don't want it to be too dark because, and you can do this, you don't have to do it just at the top. Like right here, I have some white spaces. Here I have white, so I could just kind of spray it around. And then after I do that, I'm going to dab it with the paper towel so that I only get like shadows of it. And that colors some of the area that we were using. Okay, so that was a Dylusions ink spray that I used. So now we're gonna let this dry just a little bit. I don't know. It actually, because we didn't use anything super thick, it should be pretty much dry already. Okay, nothing's coming up, so we should be good. What I want to do now, I want to use some new crayons I got. And I am not 100% sure, but these may be crayons that are very similar to gelatos, but I don't know. So let's add some blue. Oh, if I can get these out. They look like they're gonna have to go in another container. Okay, I'm gonna go around and I'm just going to add some color here and there with the blue. Okay, so these are a little bit waxy, but they're not like gelatos, so they are different. Gelatos will leave a waxiness on the top of your design. I have one over here if I can reach it so you guys can see what a gelato is, which I might use one, I don't know. But a gelato is pretty much, it reminds you of a chapstick, okay? And it comes out like this. This one might be a little bit dried up, but if you wanted to use it, let's say to color this part right here or this part here, you can, but the thing is it's very waxy, so you can move the product around a little bit. So it does come off on your hands if you choose to use gelatos. The thing that I'm noticing with these pens, or I'm sorry, pencils, is that they don't have that. They feel waxy when they're going on, but they don't rub off or feel waxy on the page. So I'm just going through every one of these circles and just putting another blue circle in. And did I get all of them already? And let me see what the white does. I'm going to go around this with the white. It doesn't show up very well because of the background being partially white. But I just wanted to go around these because I wanted them to kind of resemble bubbles, but it's okay. They're not going to probably because of the white not showing on the page. And I like these. I like the way they feel, so I'm glad I got them. Because when I first saw them and I thought, oh no, they're going to be just like gelatos. And gelatos are not something that I use all the time. So we have a lot of layers on here. We could layer on some text if we wanted to. And let's go ahead. Let me move these out of the way. Let's go ahead and do our folding. Okay, and we will see how accurate we can get this. It's really hard with watercolor paper because you have such a thick piece of paper. It's very hard to get it to be even, but you want to crease it really well, especially when you're doing this part. So if you need to use a bone folder, you can. Like this. And then we want to make one more fold where we will fold this over to here. Now actually it looks like we did pretty decent on the folds. So let me go ahead and zip this through. And we'll look at it and see what it looks like when we have it on a smaller scale. So on a smaller scale, let's see this right here, which way I wanted to go. Okay, so we have this page, looks nice. This page, I like the way that the iridescent paint or metallic paint shimmers. That's a cool effect. And then we have this last page. So we get, and then of course we get a lot of interest on this page as well, which I kind of like this side. I can't decide, but yeah. So you can play with all kinds of things. You can even go back in with your marker, whatever kind you use. Actually, I usually just use my, this is a Paper Mate, so we'll see how it works. But you can go in and just put little lines, and then you can outline maybe some of the circles or shapes that you have. Squiggly lines on the balloons. Which I really like that. So we'll do some squiggly lines on the balloons. What I'm calling balloons, and then I called them bubbles earlier, I think. And we'll do squiggly lines over here, and over here, over here. So with all these different mediums, you can create any kind of background that you like. Now, some people will use a jelly plate to make their background, and that's really cool also. Another option you have is to, if you have a printer that makes copies, and let's say this is one of your favorite ones you made, you can always make copies of these so that you will have them for your other works that you might be doing in the future. So that's always a cool idea. So right now, if I close this like this, and I take my others that I have, I'll put this one somewhere in the middle. And all we would have to do is bind this now. And it's going to be a little tricky to bind, but I'm sure we can do it. What we would do is we would poke holes in it and bind it. Now, I need to glue this page at the bottom before I do anything. Where's my glue? My glue. You know, I really love art glitter glue, but the nozzle thing has me insane. Okay, what's going on today? It's the stoppin' upest glue I've ever had in my life. If stoppin' upest is a real word. So just to seal this, you need to go along the edge with whatever glue you have. I would suggest using some type of liquid glue. I don't know how well regular what you call it, glue stick would work. It might not stay as closed. Unless you have a really good glue stick like Yoo-Hoo, it might be okay. So there, that one's glued, and we need to glue our new one. I really enjoy making these. Sometimes I think I might go overboard with the inks or the design or whatever I'm doing. But you know what? These are not just to be a mixed media portrait, an amazing thing that you made. This is kind of like one of those therapeutic things that you can do to make yourself feel good about what you've done. And when you do these, and like I said, you see them in their individual pages, they're really quite cool, I think. And so I enjoy them. I'm not going to be someone who says it has to be a specific way. It just has to be something that you like. And I encourage you to start out with colors that you love. So if you love purples and pinks, start out with those. When you get into a situation like, let's say, this one, I was not really too fond of the background, so I started adding paper, which I have to fix that. I started adding the paper, and I started adding different elements to it, and it seemed to work much better. So keep that in mind. Also, you can cut little divots right here, and we can use this as a pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind these. I have to see which is the right way. So this is the right way. This would be the right way. This would be the right way. And then this would be the right way. So I have to bind it like this. And I don't think... I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to poke the holes, and then I'm going to put ring binding in it. Just 2 rings here. I don't have them within my reach, or I do it right now. But when I come back with my next project, I will show you how I finished this so you can see all the pages, and then we can decide what do we actually put on a junk journal that we just made with all these crazy colors, right? So I will be back to see you soon. I hope you like this little project, and now you know why my hands are always 3 different colors. And I love you guys and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.